TNJ Sports Podcast back again. We got John, we got Tyrone, and we got Dakota, another new special guest. Everyone can welcome Dakota in this week. So it's NCAA Tournament time. We had selection Sunday just about a couple hours ago, and that's what this is going to be about. We're going to pick our champions, go over sleeper teams, who we think might off some upsets. We got an interesting draft scenario this year because Tyrone and Louisville don't like to be winners and make the field. So he needs a team to root for. So that's where we came up with this crazy idea. So here we go. Tyrone, I'll kick it off to you. How are you feeling? What's your sleeper teams and whatnot going into it? I know you got Alabama, Houston, Kansas, and Purdue are the 1 seeds.
Yeah, so seeing the bracket fully out, I mean, seeing these top 4 teams, I kind of knew that's who it was going to be going into it with Purdue, Kansas, and Alabama and Houston. I think Houston's not going to be as strong as their ranking shows, and the way they performed in their tournament kind of tells that. I mean, I know they lost in the championship game, but I don't think they have what it takes to compete with the higher level teams. I know John doesn't like that when he goes for a lot of those underdog schools, but I really don't see them being that big power team that they need to be in this tournament. And I think their run's going to come up short. Right now, my first bracket in the Sweet 16, I think it's going to come up short against Indiana. For sleeper teams, just based off how I've seen their bracket and who they have to play on their side of the bracket, I think Duke, the way they performed in the ACC tournament, and just because I see that league play all the time with Louisville playing against them, and then just watching them and how they performed. Like I said, throughout that tournament in the ACC, they really shown that they're clicking. Those freshmen aren't just freshmen anymore; they are now sophomores, and I think they can get out of this bracket, even though they're going against Purdue. In my bracket, I have them going against Purdue in the Sweet 16. I have them taking out Kansas State in the Elite 8 and making their run to the Final Four. But yeah, that's my sleeper team, making it all the way to the Final Four as a 5 seed. Winning right now, I'm still on the Final Four right now, trying to pick who I think is going to win. But man, I want to see Iona do well because of Rick Pitino. Have an interesting matchup for them going against St. Mary's. I think that's where their run will end, but they will upset Connecticut. I mean, nothing against Connecticut. I just feel like Rick Pitino, this is his time of year. He usually, this team looks really good. I watched them in their championship for their conference, and they played really well. So that's what I got for this tournament so far. Definitely a lot more to think over these next couple of days before it finally kicks off, but excited.
Yeah, I mean, it is a exciting time. I mean, just hearing you spout off a few of those. I mean, Kansas State in the Elite 8. You got a couple different teams in there that I know I don't have. John, what about you? Do you have anything different from what Tyrone was saying there?
I got TCU making a run. I thought they looked strong throughout the year. Just had a couple of bumps in the road, but them and I think VCU, they usually make a tournament run every year. They at least get past the first round. From what I can remember, I think that's another team that can make a run as an upset. Another one I was looking at was Iona. Obviously, like what Ty said, I think they could beat UConn. UConn's a little bit overrated. They don't really play in the best conference either. I know Houston's in there, but outside of that, it's not great. But yeah, that's all I got. Ty pretty much covered all those points I was going to hit.
I got you, yeah. Dakota, welcome into this podcast. I know you're in with the Cheap Pop Wrestling podcast, so welcome on in. Do you got anything going looking at that bracket?
Just taking a final look at the bracket recently. The only team nobody said that I've kind of got picked is Memphis. I think they'll make a relatively decent run through it all.
Okay. Yeah. They're hot. Definitely coming in hot, winning over Houston today. I mean, they almost beat Houston at the end of last week, too, to end the regular season. So.
Yeah. I agree with you, Dakota. I think Memphis is actually they're hitting. I said this in the last video. This is when you want to hit that stride, and Memphis hit that stride Iona has been on that stride. Duke is another one. That's why I picked them. Like, if you play, this is how you pick these teams. It's those that are hot during the month of March. And each one of those teams we just said, Memphis, Duke, Iona, they were all hot in their conference tournament. And that's, that ultimately led to me picking them going a little bit further. Not Memphis as so much because they're going to run into Purdue. I think that's just too much 7-footer right there.
I mean, yeah, I get with Zach Edey, but at the same time, like I feel like the last truly like center that made a difference, and then like in the tournaments would have been like 2015 with Towns and Okafor. I don't really feel that big man has made that much of a difference, especially if you get a team that has some length to put on those guards of Purdue out front, because you saw what happened today with Penn State putting some pressure on them and almost making that comeback.
Yeah.
So it's all going to depend on that. I think the only team I've got that no one else said. I mean, I got College of Charleston heading to the Sweet 16, but I also took Furman over Virginia.
Yeah, I picked that too. I forgot to mention that. I did pick Furman to win.
So yeah, I got Charleston, Furman taking out the 4 and 5 seeds up in the South. But other than that, I don't have too many big upsets. Other than those, I think I've got VCU over St. Mary's, just because I always feel like there's a second 12 over 5 seed.
Yep.
And that was the last one I had. So, I've got Alabama winning it all. I got Alabama over Texas. My Final Four is Alabama, Duke, Texas, and Kansas.
That's very, very similar to mine, except instead of Kansas, I have UCLA. I like Mick Cronin. I like what he's doing with this UCLA team. I mean, I said this to y'all before. It's kind of hard to, project what these Pac-12 teams are going to do unless you can watch them and see how they play. But I mean, I did get to watch a little bit of their performance in the Pac-12 championship and seeing how they were doing. But I think UCLA will probably be too powerful for them. And then, kind of speaking on the College of Charlestown too, I did have them beating San Diego. I have them in the Sweet 16 just like you, but I have them losing to Alabama. And then, that'll be my Final Four: Alabama, Duke, UCLA, and Texas.
Yep. I got Alabama, Marquette, Houston, and TCU. Like I said, I think TCU is bound for a run. Yeah. I picked them to go pretty far. There's usually one team in there that shouldn't be in. That's the one I think is going to be that one. And Marquette's looked solid all year. Alabama and Houston have been the class of the field. And I think Kansas gets a lot of whistles, and they're a little overrated. Now that they're going to be playing on neutral courts, I think they're going to get exposed.
Will Bill Self be back?
He hopes to be back. He was released from the hospital today, so he hopes to be back.
What about you, Dakota? What you got for the Final Four? Anything different? Any kind of standout team like John with TCU making it?
I haven't fully sat down and done my bracket yet. I have TCU and Memphis making decent runs. The only two I have in the Final Four right now are Alabama, Houston. I haven't fully gone through and sat and done my bracket yet. I haven't had a good chance to.
I mean, as we know, guys, I mean, every year this thing, after week one, after, that first round of games, there's probably a handful of brackets that are still correct. So, I mean, anything can happen this year, but those 1 seeds I feel like are a lock to, they're not going to pull Virginia in 2018 and lose. I think they're for sure making it past that first round. Same thing with the 2 seeds.
Yeah, I'm hoping I'll be rooting for Northern Kentucky over Houston, because I feel like that might be the only 16-1 matchup that has a chance. Just because Marcus Warwick can score the basketball for Northern Kentucky, and if Marcus Sasser's out for Houston, you saw that they're not the same team because they lost today. So,
injuries are going to be a key factor.
That
Kansas injuries, UCLA has injuries. I mean, at this time of the year, almost everyone's having injuries, but like these are significant guys that are going to be out. So this could change a whole lot.
Yeah. One matchup we're missing. I think this could be one that ruins everybody's bracket. Arizona and Princeton. Princeton's playing good ball right now. They talked about it on CBS that this Princeton team is going to be the one to to scare some people. They may not win. They might get blown out, but at least the first half it'll be close because they run that Princeton offense.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, we got a solid basis down for this. I mean, it's going to be. I feel like this could be the most wide open year, but it could also end up being the most chalk year ever. You know what I mean? Like everyone, I think that it's been wide open all year. Everyone's been losing, but I feel like this is going to be the crazy time that we might see 4 1 seeds in the Final Four again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
this could be the year the higher seed wins every single game all the way to the national championship. Or, like you just said, it could be a year where Princeton beats Arizona and then somehow squeak by whoever they have in that next matchup, either Mizzou or Utah State, which both of those, if they can beat Arizona, Princeton can, then I'm sure they shouldn't have a problem with Missouri or Utah State. But yeah, I love this time of year, man. I'm ready for these games to kick off. Do we know what time and that first game kicks off?
Yeah, so its first game tips off on, if we're just going Thursday game. Thursday, 12:15. First game is Maryland and West Virginia on CBS. If you check the group chat I sent you, I sent those game times to you. So yeah, 12:15 on Thursday. I think I decided I'm gonna go into work tomorrow and be like, hey y'all, I'm taking off on Thursday, and I'm gonna make my living room just a bunch of TVs and just sit around and not do anything all day Thursday. So
I wouldn't blame you.
Has anyone got anything else they want to add before we get into this draft on this bracket?
I'm all right.
Just don't forget that every network that will be showcasing these games are True TV, CBS, TNT, and TBS. So this is that fun time of year where you can flip to any channel and you just see a game on. But those first games that kick off, the first 4, the first game is at 6:40 on Tuesday. It'll be Southeast Missouri State versus Texas A&M CC. And then Pitt and Mississippi State right afterwards, which would be a big game for my bracket because I have Pitt going pretty far. But other than that, yeah, that's it.
Gotcha. Yeah, those first 4 games are always fun to watch because it's always like trying. You're there, but you're not there, and you got to try to get through and whatnot. So I think the Pitt Mississippi State game will probably be the best game out of those. But those 16 seed matchups are always fun up and down matchups, I feel like.
Oh yeah.
All right. Well, if we are ready, I'll go over the rules for this draft, and Tyrone, you can help me if I miss anything. Well, once again, we're doing this. Tyrone came up with this idea because Louisville did not make it. Didn't even come close.
Wait till next year.
He needs a team to root for. So this is where we came up with this. So the 4 of us are gonna pick 4 teams in a snake draft, 1 through 4, on who we're gonna root for. And once a team's picked, they're done. Whoever's number 1, they pick Alabama. No one else can pick them. And then at the end, whoever's 4 teams have the most wins, I believe it is, right?
Yes, sir. You get 1 point for every win, and then every weekend is another bonus point. So you make it to the second weekend, and that team wins, you get 2 points. It sounds like a lot, but you get a point for every win. You make it to a weekend, that's an extra point. Making it for that weekend, and then championship game is an extra point as well.
Okay, gotcha. So we did the little list randomizer. Dakota, you are up first. So you are free to pick whichever team that you would like root for in this tournament, who you think will go the farthest, essentially.
First pick, I'm taking Houston. I'm just going to go ahead and take them off the board. I like their chances throughout this entire bracket they have.
That's great selection. Great selection. Yeah, I know, right? That's exactly what I said. Like, go Alabama, go Alabama. All right. I have the second pick, so let me adjust from who Dakota picked. I guess I'm gonna go with one of the teams in my Final Four, and the one, like I said, I think will make the furthest run here because of who they play is Duke. So I will be that guy to pick Duke.
All right.
John, next to you.
Okay. I didn't think Duke was going off the board this early. I wasn't going to pick him anyway because I'm not a cocksucker. But I didn't want to pick them. I'm going to pick Alabama.
Yeah.
Not a choice.
I honestly thought you were going Alabama, man.
I thought about it, but I just feel they have more chance of getting upset and lost and losing other than Duke, because nobody really is standing in their way other than Purdue. And again, I don't know. Just
Fair enough.
hey, we'll see once this is over.
Yeah.
If I had to, I did not. I was feeling lucky. I thought Alabama would fall to 4, but I'll go with Kansas. I'll go with Kansas.
Nice. And you get it right back again.
Right back again. Then I'll take my other Final Four team of Texas.
Texas. Nice pick. You writing these down so we can remember who all is picked?
Yeah,
All right, cool.
It's back to you.
All right. I'm going to take Marquette. I had them in my Final Four. I don't want to take Purdue because I watched a couple other games this year and they get upset a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Tyrone.
That's a good pick. Jonathan. I am going to take UCLA.
Good pick, Tyronathan.
Jonathan.
Dakota, back over to you.
I was going to take UCLA. I'm going to take Tennessee. I think they're going to make a decent run, as much as John hates that school. But
Yep.
few games I've watched from them, they haven't looked terrible.
Yeah.
All right, and then Dakota, back to you again. Back to back.
Has anybody said Arizona? Did I miss that?
No.
No, give me Arizona. I like Arizona.
Good pick. I will go with probably will catch some backlash, but oh well. I'm going to go with Indiana.
Oh, God. He picks Duke and Indiana.
I'm just doing it to make you mad, man.
Indiana.
I'm pretty sure if Dakota wouldn't have picked Tennessee, he was going to take them too.
No,
John,
no, I'm not that much of a piece of shit.
All right. Who do I want here? You know what? I'll ride with the other 1 seed. Give me Purdue if nobody's picked them yet.
Good pick. Low-key forgot they were still on the board.
Yeah, at least one seed makes it every year.
Yeah.
I might as well get 2 of them.
Mark, lock it up. So that
right.
Drake last
Yeah,
year,
I guess I got back-to-back picks, don't I?
Yep.
To end it off.
I'll
take Gonzaga just because most years, they're one of the favorites, and then no one's really talking about them anymore. So, And then John, sorry, but I'll just take Kentucky for the last one, just because someone's got to. Might as well be me.
Yeah, I wasn't going to do it.
You weren't going to do it?
I don't want my feelings hurt.
All right, John, back to you. Final pick.
You know what? I'll go ahead and go with. That's probably not going to end well for me. I'm going to go TCU, because why not? Go Horny Toads.
Tyrone, final pick.
My sir, can you do me a favor and I don't want to say read them all off because that's a lot of picks. I think I remember who was picked. Trying to go with somebody on the opposite side of my teams I already picked. So I got Indiana out of the Midwest. I have UCLA out of the West, Duke out of the East. So I need to go with a sleeper pick right here. You know what? They've been there before. I will go with Baylor.
That's a good one.
Can't beat experience.
And then Dakota, that is your final pick. What you got?
It's kind of a weird pick, but every time I go against this man in March betting, it always loses for me. So give me Michigan State because I've learned my lesson against betting on against Tom Izzo in March.
Smart. That's smart.
That's smart. That's smart. All right, so I've got us down. Dakota, you have Houston, Tennessee, Arizona, and Michigan State. Tyrone, you went with a bunch of blue bloods and Duke, UCLA, Indiana, and random Baylor.
Mm-hmm.
John, Alabama, Marquette, Purdue, and TCU. Then I got Kansas, Texas, Gonzaga, and Kentucky. So there's our draft picks.
Yeah. You have
Oh,
Kansas and who? Kansas and Gonzaga? Jordan?
Kansas, Texas, Gonzaga, Kentucky.
See, that's why I had to sit here and think about all my picks because I didn't want my picks to meet each other on the same side of the bracket. So Kansas and Gonzaga, they could potentially meet, and that would end your chance of points. But I mean, you'll still get a lot of points just from them meeting if they do meet. So
I mean, yeah, they do meet. They're not meeting until the Elite Eight.
yeah, and that will get you, 7 points almost right there. So
Yeah. So
all right, well, so
yeah.
who has the first game? Whose team plays first? Can we
Oh.
tell?
I guess it would probably be me with Kansas.
The West plays first. Okay.
2 o'clock on Thursday. And then Dakota with Arizona at 4 o'clock on Thursday. So a couple games early in the morning or early in the day on Thursday that we've picked. Duke in the afternoon, Texas in the afternoon. There's quite a few of all our teams play on Thursday. Thursday's going to be a fun day.
Oh yeah.
Not only
I'm excited.
with the game itself and rooting for your bracket, rooting for these teams to make it. So,
So let's go ahead and go over that. What teams? I mean, other than what we just picked, what were your teams that you were already rooting for before we did this? I mean, obviously I know John and Jordan, you're rooting for UK. Was there anybody else that you were like, oh, I'm gonna root for them to make it?
Northern Kentucky, but they're probably going to get demolished.
Yeah.
I want Northern Kentucky bad. I want to see that happen again.
Yeah.
That no.
You had anybody, Dakota?
Memphis really is kind of the only one I'm pulling for since Louisville decided to not win more than 4 games this year.
Yeah. Yeah. That was
I'll tell you another one. Is if we lose to them, Marquette, I wouldn't mind seeing Marquette beat Duke and make the Final Four.
Ooh.
Yeah.
They look a fun. And the Big East isn't, like, down. Like, it's not the best, but damn, it's not what it used to be.
Well, I said it to you last week, too. I mean, they keep saying the ACC's down, but, I mean, each team on here so far, which, I mean, mainly it's just Duke. I can see making it far, but Pittsburgh is that sleeper team I had. They'll be in the first 4. They'll beat Mississippi State and on my bracket. Then they'll go in and beat Iowa State, go in there and beat Xavier. And then I think they'll play a close matchup with Texas. I almost wanted to pick them to beat Texas, but just how they performed in the ACC in their second game, it kind of took my thoughts of them down. But they have a great 6-man and Nike. I forgot how to say his name. It's like Nike pretty much is how you say his name. But he's really, really good coming off the bench. And they have a good, solid team, good coaching. About time he has a winning year over there. What's his name? Used to coach with Duke.
Pitt?
Yeah, Pitt's coach.
Jeff Capel?
Jeff Capel, yeah. I mean, he had some rough years there, his first couple years at Pitt, and now look at him. I mean, I know it's 11 seed, but that's a long way from where they were.
I'm really surprised. I'll say that the ACC might not be the best. It's down. I would say it's down a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But like NC State, I didn't think NC State. hadn't even thought of them about being one to make it, and they made it as an 11 seed outright. So they were better than Pittsburgh in the committee's eyes, which is just odd to me. I don't know. There's only 5 ACC teams that made it.
Yeah. I mean, North Carolina will be a 1 seed in the NIT. I mean, that's crazy.
They said they're not playing.
They're not playing it?
They're not playing.
That's huge.
They're also the first preseason number 1 team to not make the tournament since it expanded to 64 teams in the 1980s or something.
Hell yeah. Fuck them.
I don't like North Carolina at all.
Me either.
If there's any team in the ACC, if I had to pick between Duke and North Carolina, I'll 10 times picking Duke. But I do not like North Carolina. I guess the way you feel about Duke and everything about Duke you hate, but that's just how I am with North Carolina. I mean, other than Jordan, throw the whole school away to me. I don't
Throw the whole school away. Fake classes and all.
Throw them away like they did those grades. Yeah. Just throw them away. I mean, the fact that they didn't get in trouble for anything, just a slap on. I don't even think they got a slap on the wrist.
They ain't getting nothing.
They flicked their finger. They didn't even do anything else. But for them to not get in trouble for that stuff, and then for us to have to go through everything we went through, but I mean, there is still some upside for Louisville. I mean, we did probably just hit the number one recruit in history.
There's differences in what you got in trouble for and what they got in trouble for.
No, it is. I'm just saying, like, the way they
paid
were
children. They just didn't go to.
I'm telling you, Kentucky fans can't go a day without saying strippers, doing the L's down.
We didn't say anything.
Or something. And y'all can't do it, man.
Hoes. And you paid hoes to have sex with 17-year-olds. So
we didn't pay anybody 1%.
Still got a banner.
Exactly.
You mean the banner hanging up at the pizza place across from the fucking stadium? Or the new pizza one?
I said what I said.
We have the same amount of banners that John Calipari has for Kentucky, so.
Ooh.
Yeah.
No, there ain't no.
Oh, then he gets up and leaves.
Calipari to Texas.
Oh, gosh. That's like Scott Satterfield going to Cincinnati as a UK fan. That's a happy day. Nobody really likes Texas anyway, so they probably want to see Cal in Texas.
No comment.
You were all for the Cal to Texas train earlier in the season, John.
I'm all for it. I'm just people are getting pissy with me about me talking about that, so I try to get real quiet about it now.
Just gotta be positive. Plus, the bad thing is now you don't want to send him. Don't send him to Texas, and then in 2 years he comes in and wipes our ass. You know what I mean?
Yep. Play him in 2 years.
They're going to be in our conference in 2 years.
Oh, that's right. Damn. Yeah.
But the next.
I think they're already regretting making that decision going to SEC.
I think so, man. I think the way they played this year, they didn't, and the way they played in the Big 12 and how deep it was, I don't really see that they're going to have any problem. Football, different story. Basketball, no.
Football's going to be fun. Football's going to be fun. Imagine Kentucky whooping up on Texas. That'd be great. Because I think the Big 12 is overrated, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
Imagine them traveling to Kentucky just to get their ass beat and then lose to Vanderbilt of all teams.
Well, we've done that too.
But at Vanderbilt, though? No.
3 times this year. 3 times this year.
Hey, I was at one of them.
We lost to Vanderbilt more times than we had wins this year. That's crazy.
Y'all had 3 wins? I thought y'all had 4.
I said you almost lost them more times than we had wins.
Y'all almost got 28-3 in a different kind of way.
That's true. All right. So we do have more coming for you all. We have WrestleMania kicking off, and then we're going to still do a joint one, right? We're going to do another one of these?
Yeah, we're gonna do joint one of these, and we got the joint WrestleMania one coming up.
Mm-hmm.
So that'll be a Saturday, April 1st. You got everyone got 2 screens go for the Final Four and WrestleMania probably.
Yeah.
All right.
Anything on the wrestling side you want to hit on? I mean, I know you got your podcast tomorrow, Monday. Anything y'all want to, get everybody excited for listening in?
Yeah. We got an episode coming Monday, possibly Wednesday, and definitely Friday. Still trying to work out the kinks for our Wednesday stuff. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and plug our stuff here. Go ahead and follow us on Twitter at Cheap Pop Wrestling Podcast and on Instagram at Cheap Pop Podcast. TikTok at Pop This Potty for the Cheap. Our last one. That's the first time I've been able to say it without busting out laughing. Our last TikTok got removed, probably for the name. But yeah, and then make sure to follow us on the TNJ Sports Podcast stuff on Facebook.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, man.
yeah, y'all go ahead.
Anything? Dakota, you want to add anything or got anything for him?
I was told by John to be on my best behavior for this one, so no.
You can no, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was waiting because you're a Louisville fan, correct? Yeah, I was waiting for a fellow Louisville fan to hop on here and help me out with them. So definitely have to have you back on here a few more times just so I can have a fellow Louisville fan.
I'd be glad to. Maybe it's while Louisville wins a fucking game for once. Be nice.
And we got some excitement coming up too. Spring football, I believe, kicks off this week, right? No, they go on spring break this week. After this week, we got spring football kicking off. We got the spring game on the 21st. Excited to see that, man.
Y'all got baseball
I mean,
too.
what about the 5-star center that just committed to you today? You're not gonna mention that one?
Well, I tried to mention that earlier, and he kind of just said, blah, blah, whores this and this is that. So, but yeah, we got one of our highest rated recruits in program history, and Dennis Evans is a 5-star. Well, some people are starting to rank him 4-star because he committed to Louisville, which just seems to always happen when a 5-star commits to Louisville. They somehow lose a star. But anyways, Dennis Evans, 7'1", definitely be a huge impact on the defensive end. Now we need to go out there and get Scott Clark, who entered the transfer portal. Go and get Trenton Flowers. Maybe he reclassifies. If he doesn't, it's fine. We have Caleb Glenn coming in, who's been playing phenomenal for a senior campaign. We still have Curtis Williams coming in. And then we did lose 3 freshmen this year, which is weird. I really don't know how to feel about it. But we lost Fabio Basili. I was preaching about playing him a lot more this year, and he didn't play. Now he's leaving. Devin Reed looked like a toothpick, and he's leaving a toothpick with a tattoo. And then we lost a key freshman in Kamari Land. He's transferring out. I'm sure he's going to go somewhere. I believe Arizona was one of his top teams. But yeah, other than that, man, I'm still excited. Tomorrow's the portal day, so I mean, look to see a lot of players enter that portal that aren't in the tournament. Some of them may be in the tournament, don't really care, just want to get out of there. So
Yeah, I mean, be positive with your team and your programs, guys. I mean,
I'm not mad we lost those players.
Yeah, HIV positive.
Yeah.
Well, I'll be KP positive. Oh, let's do that. KP positive. Huh? Y'all got anything else? Y'all want to hit on anything? UK fans? Y'all got anything to cheer on? Any football news?
I know we're going to get our cheeks clapped by Providence because Bryce Hopkins is on the other team, but here's to hoping.
That is a storyline that they couldn't wait to write for this tournament. They wanted this matchup. I mean, they've talked about it all year long.
I wish we would have got the Kentucky-Iona matchup. I really wanted that one.
That would have been wild.
That would have been – you would have had no bigger game ratings-wise than that one. Louisville fans would have tuned in for that one. Kentucky fans would have tuned in. So, I mean, it'd have been massive.
I mean, what are Louisville fans going to watch right now, man? They would have watched that game.
Exactly.
They got the women's tournament. They're a 5 seed.
I'm going to say it again. What are they going to watch?
It's a women's month.
No, that was last month, I thought.
Dakota, it's been the
No,
best
last
time to be on your worst behavior.
That's
Last month was Black History Month. Now it's National Women's Month.
Oh,
Okay.
I was waiting for Dakota to swoop in off the top rope and hit us with a good joke. But it is what it is.
Not this time.
He's breaking himself into the TNJ podcast, so it's all good, man. We take anybody how they come. So
Man,
I'd love to see you go full force against John. I don't know, just
I mean, nothing could be much worse than our bowl preview show. I mean, that one was pretty.
Oh yeah,
It was pretty bad.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Jordan, that preacher, man, that's pretty rough. It hits you in all the right places.
yeah. Even when you tell him not to.
Oh, I'm good. I don't have anything else to hit on. I liked the draft and everything. Gives us another thing to look forward to. So, other than that, I guess we are all signing off.
What, are we winning anything for this? Whoever gets the most points? Are we going to do a little wager, or is it just I bet I got it right?
Put a case of beer on it.
Case of beer. Cool.
Case of beer. So you know the alcoholic comes in with the first bet.
God damn it.
Case
Yep, got me.
Case of beer it is for the winner. And so thanks for listening, everybody. Dakota, thanks for joining in today. Glad to have you on. Come back whenever you want. In that case, Jordan is signing out.
D-Styles out.
Hook out.
Thank y'all for having me. We're out.
Here you go.